in potential success this year for the purple and gold. Max Kellerman, you're a bandwagon Lakers fan, so I know this, rings true to your heart here.
I was the voice of Los Angeles. You're
still the voice of LA. Let's be honest. And you're now the voice of New York.
That ain't true. Don't lie to that, man.
Ask around. You better ask somebody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I don't need to
get familiar, Stephen A.
Right.
Oh, my God.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Can everyone just settle down for a moment? Max,
We don't
seriously,
settle, Molly.
when they come back, Max, who's under more pressure? Is it LeBron or AD? Finally, I got the question out.
It's LeBron. The answer is always LeBron. History, AD is a great player. He's going to go down as an all-time great now that he has the championship, and he's already put up the numbers, right? The question was, will AD ever wind up with enough championships that he could push Tim Duncan for the number one spot all-time at power forward? LeBron is always under the most pressure. Basically, if the question is basketball in this era, the answer is LeBron, the way once upon a time it was, Jordan is the answer to any basketball question. Of course, that's what we're all going to remember. That's what this is about. LeBron James, since before he even turned pro, the eyes of the basketball world were on him, and the eyes of history are on him. And how many championships will he wind up with? Where is he going to rank among the all-time great Lakers? Can he take a team, provided he and AD are both healthy, right? If they're both back, can he take a team to a championship, to win a championship? Or did he fail to do so, especially if they couldn't get out of the Western Conference? No one's going to care about the details. LeBron had AD with him. If those two are both on the floor, LeBron will be under more pressure than anyone to get to the finals.
Max Kellerman, I got a strange answer for you to this question. The more pressure is on Anthony Davis, not LeBron James.
What'd you know about, Stephen?
If LeBron James doesn't face the Clippers. If he faces the Clippers and it's him against Kawhi,
I see what you're saying.
Then it's different. Then we looking at LeBron. It's like, let me tell you, let me just be very Captain Obvious here about what you can expect on first date. If the Clippers go up against the Lakers, you're going to see me sitting here every morning. What you going to do? What's up? You remember Kawhi, the crown dangling from the mirror, driving in the convertible in the streets of L.A. I have arrived. Remember that? It's going to be a question of both of them. Both of them. What's up? See, here's the thing about me. And this is what and I'm going to try to be as incredibly respectful as I possibly can be. A lot of these damn NBA players today get on my last damn nerves. Because they've forgotten, from a fan's perspective, what basketball is all about. Of course, it's a team game. Of course, you share the basketball. Listen, man, I was raised in this business practically by Larry Brown. He was one of the... Remember, Max, not just Big House Gaines and the late, great John McClendon as well, who helped integrate the sport of basketball. My first two jobs after doing high school reporting for the New York Daily News for 1 year, the first two people I covered in basketball was John Chaney and Larry Brown. Okay? And who talked about playing the right way more than them? So I get it, and I understand team concept. You understand defensive scheme, offensive scheme, sharing the basketball, being unselfish, being selfless, trusting your teammates, et cetera, et cetera. That's why movies like Any Given Sunday, Friday Night Lights, and all of these other things, are riveting to me because I heard that kind of talk before. But in the sport of basketball, at some point in time, it's me and you. Even though it's a team game and we got guys around, it's me and you. And there's so many of today's players that want to throw that off. They want to shove that aside. They don't want you looking for the one-on-one matchup. And one of the reasons why I always appreciated the greatness of Kobe, the greatness of MJ, guys like that, is because when you put them in the face of a confrontation and you said, excuse me, somebody talking, or somebody said this, they're like, really? Michael Jordan one time in a press conference, I forgot who it was against. Somebody said that, I don't know if it was Jeff Van Gundy and a couple of the Knicks. Somebody said something. And MJ said, okay. They got up and walked out when the press conference was over, Max. Turns around It said, who said that again? You see what I'm saying? So everybody knew. All he said was, who said that again? And everybody knew. Oh, damn. Oh, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. And so many of today's players rob us of that. Because they don't want to engage. Because they don't want the media to make something out of it. They don't want social media to make. It's basketball. And when you have a one-on-one confrontation, even though it's a team game, I don't know about anybody else. I am dying, more so than the championship. I am dying to see LeBron straight up against Kawhi Leonard with a conference title on the line.
Well, here,
That's what I want.
Let me say this quickly.
That's what I want.
I appreciate your point. I don't disagree with it in this sense. Like, this game ain't about Montrezl Harrell versus Serge Ibaka, right? On the poster, the fight is the heavyweight championship.
Preach, Maximilian. Preach.
And Kawhi. I'll say this too. A lot of sports is you got to beat your man. You got to win your matchup. You know, Aaron Donald's Aaron Donald because he's going to beat his. You got to put two guys on him. One guy, he's going to win that matchup.
That's different.
So his team, right? And the reason basketball has been, along with boxing, barbershop talk basically, is because it can boil down to this guy or this guy differently than football or baseball or other sports. I'll just say this: LeBron's game has always been part magic, part Michael. He is not exactly like Jordan.
I'm not asking him to be.
And Kawhi is actually more like that. Kawhi is more of the individual, I'm good. But even his mentality is not about beating you. It's about helping the team win. You have two guys who play the game the right way. What you're asking them to do is play the game the right way plus.
That's it.
Plus.
But that's what we want. That's what we want. Tell me you don't want that.
I can't disagree.
Tell me you don't want that.
Be front runners for LaMarcus Aldridge. The veteran big man completed a buyout with the Spurs. There's the big three in the East, fellas, and then there's everybody else. You know who they are: the Bucks, the Sixers, the Nets. But keep in mind, Miami, they came from behind last year. They were the underdogs, and they are the defending Eastern Conference champions. Max Kellerman, should the East big three worry about Miami?
Yeah, absolutely. Miami, it's a big four now. Let's be honest. Miami underachieved early. We knew that, regression to the mean. It doesn't always mean you go backwards. It means you go back to what you expect. That's what's good. That was happening with Miami anyway before the trade. But you know what this is like? It's like a Space Jam. They don't have a Jordan on that team. The other team's that guy, right? Look at Giannis. Look at Embiid. Look at KD and Harden and Kyrie, right? There's no one like that on the Heat. Apologies to Jimmy Butler. But they got the Monstars, a version of that. They got a whole bunch of guys who are really good, who can go get their own shot, who can hit it from the outside, as Stephen A. would say, who are rough riders. Think about how many different guys can come at you at the Heat. And I'm not even talking about like Bam, right? I'm talking about ball handlers who can shoot, create for others, score themselves, create their own shot under pressure. Obviously, Jimmy Butler, and we saw in the playoffs last year, Tyler Hero. You add Oladipo to that mix. I mean, those three would be enough to be like, ooh. But you also still have Dragic, and you still have Kendrick Nunn. You have 5-6 dudes. I didn't mention Iguodala because he's old and he's not that kind of player, but he's still a valuable piece. You have 5-6 dudes coming at you in Miami that way. There is no KD. There is no Harden on that team. There's no Giannis. But you got a whole bunch of guys who can really play. They're going to be a problem, and I would not call the East a big three anymore. I'd say it's a big four.
I'm not sure about that. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not sure. And here's the reason why I'm sure, and I have the right to sit up here and be a bit indecisive. Miami started off the season 7-14. We looked at them, COVID ravaged them, et cetera, and we was like, but we also looked at them and said, what the hell is going on? They don't seem to be the same. Jimmy Butler hadn't seemed to be the same or whatever. They were 7-14. Next thing you know, what did they win? 4 straight. They won 10 out of 13 games. They ended up 517-17, and we said, here Miami come. I actually took credit. I said, you know what? I called them on the carpet. I motivated them because you know how important it is for me to be in South Beach. I mean, I'm still miserable over the fact that last year's NBA Finals was between Miami and LA, which was my dream matchup, and it was a bubble play. I mean, could you imagine us in June? We would have been in South Beach, and La. I mean,
Your prayers have to be specific, Stephen A. You got to make them specific.
Listen, that's the only thing listen, the Lakers are a different town when the LA's a different town when the Lakers are special. You know that better than me, you and Molly, because you both lived out there for years. The Clippers can be successful, but there's something different about LA when the Lakers are successful. It's just something different, okay? But the consolation prize could be the Clippers. It still puts us in LA at the Staples Center. I'm good with that. And then we talk about Miami. I'd be good with that too. Here's the problem. Once again, 4 straight. Then they won 10 to 13. They got to 500. Then after they got to 500, Max, they won 5 straight. Okay? And then they ended up like 22 and 18 or so, right? They've lost 5 straight. And then we go to Oladipo. And let me tell you what I heard about Oladipo. I personally like Oladipo. I like him. I think he's been through a lot. I think before he got injured, he was really ascending in this game. And I believe in the brother. Okay, and he's averaging 20 points a game this year, albeit on 41% shooting, 33% from three-point range, which isn't that impressive. In Houston, they were 4-16 with him. 4-16.